Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel DS Tech Mirror. Topic for today's video is how we can use Microsoft Graph API inside SharePoint Framework. What is Microsoft Graph API? Microsoft Graph API is a RESTful web service that enables us to access Microsoft Cloud services. You can understand it in a way like Office 365 is a collection of various apps, for example, Power Automate, Power Apps, OneNote, Delve, Teams, Calendar, Mail, Outlook. If you want to access data from all these services, we can very easily use Microsoft Graph API. For all those developers who are very closely working with SharePoint, they might get confused. So you can understand it in a way when you want to connect to SharePoint from inside SharePoint framework. We have different methods. For example, we can use REST API, SP HTTP client object, which is present inside SharePoint framework. I can use PNP.js, and in fact, I can use other old methodologies like CSOM, etc. But if I want to connect to you can say if I want to read my email, Outlook email from inside SharePoint framework, how can I do that? If I want to fetch something from my Teams, if I want to fetch something from the Dell, so to get the data from other services of the Office 365, we use Microsoft Graph API. Microsoft Graph API offers a single endpoint. So to use Microsoft Graph API, you have to simply use this endpoint https graph.microsoft.com. After that, you have to simply append your API. As I already explained you, we can connect to different services like Calendar, Delve, Excel, Microsoft 365 Compliance, eDiscovery, Microsoft Search, OneDrive, OneNote. So all these services we can very easily connect with Microsoft Graph API. So it is very useful, and we must have that understanding how we can use that from inside SharePoint framework. Another thing is how we can test a Microsoft Graph API. So we can use Graph Explorer, which is provided by Microsoft itself, to test our Graph API. You can find the link in the description box below for the Graph Explorer, and in this video also I will demonstrate how we can test our Graph API using Graph Explorer. Now these are the few steps which we have to use inside SharePoint framework to use Microsoft Graph API. To use Graph API, I will be using MS Graph Client, which you can see over here. I have highlighted it. Import MS Graph Client from Microsoft/SP HTTP. So I will import it from this library. Then I will use this Graph API client to use Graph APIs. Now this MS Graph Client is not directly available. It is available through MS Graph Client Factory, and MS Graph Client Factory is part of my SharePoint context, which is available inside my webpack.ts file. Inside my webpack.ts file, if you are already working with SharePoint framework, you must be aware about this context. So this dot context dot, and you will get this MS Graph Client Factory, and in return this will give me Graph Client, which I will use to access Graph APIs. Another thing is, for the IntelliSense, I will be installing this typings file, Graph typings file, to get the IntelliSense. So without wasting any further time, let's directly jump into the demo part, and we will see how we can use this APIs. So friends, I have already created this blank solution, SPFX solution. So you can also create it. If you are a beginner to the SharePoint framework, I would recommend that you should not directly watch this video. You might find it confusing. So I will recommend you should watch my SPFX tutorial series from the beginning, where I have explained all the concepts from the beginner level to the advanced level. This is my SharePoint framework web part. All the code by default which comes when I create this web part using command q @Microsoft/SharePoint. Before jumping into the VS code, let me take you to this Graph APIs section. So this is where my Microsoft documentation is present for the Microsoft Graph APIs. You can find this link also in the description box below, and you can whatever the APIs you want to use, because it is not possible to remember all the APIs. For example, if I want to fetch something from the calendar, so what I can do, I can very well go to this link. I can fetch the calendar section, and inside calendar section I will get all the APIs. I can use that APIs, test those APIs in the Graph Explorer. This is the Graph Explorer. How we can test it, we will see in a moment. And then once the testing is done, once the API is returning with the result, then I will use inside the SharePoint framework. So this is the way I am approaching things and I'm sharing it with you. In this way, you can sail through Graph APIs very easily. Let me just quickly take you through this section. So right now version 1.0 we are using. There's another version which is coming, but it is in beta phase right now. Over here you can see 1.2 and beta. So it is not stable right now. So we will continue using version 1.0. If you go through this section, you will find there are APIs related to the users. It means users present in the Office 365. If you will expand it, you will find in detail users, list user, I want to create user, get user, update user, password, all these different functionality which I want to do. For all these APIs are present. There are APIs related to app role assignments, calendar. If I expand calendar, create a calendar event, create event, find meeting time. So all these APIs are present. So today what I will be doing, I will be using two APIs for your reference in the demo part, and then you can explore it on your own. I will be using this user section. I will be getting all the users present in my Office 365, and then using Graph API, I will be fetching data from a SharePoint list. So if I scroll down further, you can see over here team is there, user setting, to do task, applications, calendar. If I go further down, mail. So it is a very vast API which is really very useful. My SharePoint APIs are present inside sites and list. This is sites, list and list item. So I will be using this sites and list section and the user section. My main agenda of today's video is to clear all the hurdles which you will face initially while working with the Graph APIs. Once you know the logic how we can use these APIs, then very well you can fetch the APIs from here. You can read the description about them, the introduction, and then you can very easily incorporate inside your SharePoint framework solution or the .NET solution, whichever you are using. So now let's start with the solution. So as I told you in the beginning, I will be calling all the users present in my Office 365. I will be using the users API. Okay. So what I have to do, I told you in this slide. Let's go to this slide, that Graph Client is available through MS Graph Client Factory, and this is available through context. Fine. My context is present only in this TS file. So first of all, I have to pass the context from here to the component. This is the default component, a default code which we get when we create a SPFX web part. So let me in the properties, let me create another property called context. It would be of type web part context. Again, I will say, if you are new to SharePoint framework and you are directly watching this video, you might find it difficult to understand few concepts, because I am not going into the details of the concepts which I have already discussed, because this is a very big tutorial. This is I think part 23 of the SPFX tutorial. So already I have uploaded 23 videos or 22 videos related to SharePoint framework, so you can understand the depth which I have already covered. So I'm trying to keep these videos short, so that's why I'm not discussing the details which I've already discussed. So this context I have created. Now over here what I have to do, I will be passing this property context, and this is my web part context. So you can see this dot context dot page context dot web. So this context is available, but I want to pass the web part context, this dot context. Now this is done. From this particular file, this is only we have to do. If I go to this graph API.txx file, I would like to delete all the existing HTML, and I will put one parent element. Inside that, let me add one primary button. This is Office UI Fabric button. Most of the times I try to use Office UI Fabric controls only, and you can see automatically it imported. And inside this button, let me put the text as search users. So this is done, and on click of it we are going to get the users. How we are going to get the users, we will see. Before proceeding any further, just to get the intelligence, I have to install the typings file. So let me first install the typings files. And what is the command for that? I have kept it over here in my slide. npm install at Microsoft graph types -c -dev, because I want to install it as a dev dependency. only. Solution is already open in my Windows PowerShell. I will simply paste this command and this installation is progressing in the background. Meanwhile, it will get complete. Let's come back to the VS Code. What I have to do is I will import graph client from, I said @Microsoft/sp-http. What I have to import MS Graph Client. Friends, please remember this is the key to use Graph API inside SPFX. MS Graph Client. This is part of the library Microsoft/sp-http. Okay. Now let me create a method over here. I'll say public. I will use the arrow function just to avoid the binding. This binding part also I have explained in my earlier videos. Otherwise, I have to bind each and every function in the constructor. To avoid the binding, I am using arrow functions. So I'm using this get users, and this method I will be calling from here on click. Fine. On click this dot get users. Next point is where I am going to display my users. I am going to display them in the detail list. This is my detail list. Okay, this is my detail list. Inside this, I am going to display all my users. For now, this is Office Wave Fabric Control. Okay, this is also done. Now let's see whether my installation is completed for the typings file. It is in progress. So first of all, I will wait for this installation to get finished and then we will continue. So friends, this installation is completed. I will go back to VS Code. For now, I will comment this because it is giving error because it is asking for the values which we want to display. So we will get that. For now, I am also not creating any interface related to these states. I will do that in a bit when it is required. Let's go with the flow. So next what I have to do is first let me comment it. So friends, here it is giving us an error because it is asking for the values. It is saying property items is missing. So I will add the item property once it is available. For now, what I am doing, I'm just removing it, as I told you that we will display items in the detail list. But let's go with the flow. Now, as per our requirement, what I will be doing, whenever user will click on this button, primary button called search user, in the detail list, it will display all the users present in my Office 365. Okay, first of all, now what I will be doing, I will be creating an interface for the users. Which type of property I want to display from the users, because whenever I will get the users using this graph API, it will return multiple things. It will return the email, principal, name, ID, and many other things. So I don't want to display all the things in my detail list. So what kind of value I would be displaying for that? Let's create an interface for that. So I'll say over here export interface iUser. Okay, and over here what I want to display, I want to display the display name. It would be of type string and the email. So I'll take it as mail, and this will also be of type string. So now this is clear. Now let's come to this function called get users. This function will not return me anything. I'll say void. Okay, let me correct this typo error. Now let's come down and start the code. I told you I will be using MS Graph Client Factory. It would be available to us through the context which we have passed from the TS file to this component graph API.tsx file using properties. Okay. So I will use this dot props dot context dot. I will search MS Graph Client Factory. You can see the instance of MS Graph Client Factory created for this instance of component. Okay, MS Graph Client Factory dot get. It is not a method. Let me show you whether it is a method or property. So it's a property over here. You can see this is a property. MS Graph Client Factory dot get client is the method. Now what get client will do, you can see return an instance of MS Graph Client. So this is we want. Now dot then, inside then two bracket and the arrow function. This is the syntax for the arrow function. Here I will get the MS Graph Client. It will return me. I will use MS Graph Client. It will be of type, at the top I have included MS Graph Client. Now I have got the MS Graph client. I will be using this to fetch my API. Before starting with the API, I told you that we will be testing our API in the Graph Explorer. Let's go back to the Microsoft Docs. Over here, this is the user. Inside user, I am saying I want to get the users. If I scroll down, it is saying for a specific user, this is the API, get/user/id or principal name. If you want to get the current logged in user, /me is the only API. So you can see how easy these endpoints are. /me, you will get the current logged in user. That's it. But I want to get all the users. Let me scroll down further. You can see /users. So this will /id. So this will what it is saying. By default, only a limited set of properties are returned: business phone, display name, and all these properties. And out of these properties, I will be fetching display name and the email. That's why I created an interface over there. So this is the REST API which I would be using. Let me copy this complete REST API. Okay. I will go to Graph Explorer. Both the links are present in the description box below. It will ask you to log in also. I have already logged in. I will completely remove this. I will be using version 1 and get. Control paste. Fine. I want to get all the users. I will remove this /id and username. I will say run query. Fine. It is giving me success. If I scroll up over here, you can see I will be getting all the responses. Display name, given name. So all these users are present in my Office 365. Now I want to display them. This is the API. So I got the API. Another very important thing you must understand, this section, modify permission. So this is the permission this Graph API needs to access this. This is the permission Graph API needs. You can see this consented, where you can see that I have already consented this. All these permission I have not given it. I have given this one. If I remove this also, because I have already tested it, so that's why I have already given the permission. So you can see this user.readbasic.all, and the same permission I have to give from inside my SPFX web part also, otherwise this will not work. Same point I have added in my REST API I have added in the PPT also. Main concept is to give this permission. We will add this permission in the package-solution file with this property web API permission request. Resource, it would be, you can give any name. I will be giving Microsoft Graph every time. Scope would be user.readbasic.all. So there are so many APIs over here. There are so many APIs. Whenever you will try to run any API, it will ask me for the permission from this Graph Explorer also. So when you will be granting the permission over here, just copy this and paste it in your SharePoint framework also. As simple as that. Otherwise, it is difficult. You have to search over the internet to see for what permissions it requires. Okay. Now this API is ready. I will go back to my VS Code. What I would be doing, I have MS Graph Client dot API, and inside the API section, I would provide this API because I am using this parameter called, I am using this MS Graph Client class. Okay, so I don't have to mention this graph.microsoft.com. I have to simply pass these users. This is the advantage I have because it will automatically go along with the headers. I don't have to do anything. So what I have to do is I will simply type over here users. That's it. Now after that, what I will be doing, let me save. Now dot then ms graph client dot API dot, there are so many methods over here: headers, resource type, count, create, get. So you can explore all these methods. What I would be using, skip token, all these methods, everything is available over here. First of all, I would be passing the versions because now there are two versions. One is the 1.0 and another is the beta version. So I would be using v1.0. I pass this also. Now what next I have to pass? I am saying dot select. What you want to select from this API? I want to select only the display name and the email. Okay. So let's do one thing. Even if for example, let's not select anything for now because I want to show. Okay, let's select because the same thing I will what I was thinking, let me show you this API in the browser console, but when I'm already testing it over here, why to do two things again and again. So over here you can see business phone, display name. I want to use this display name, and I told you next I want to use this mail. So let me select these two from out of all the values it will return. One is the display name. Be careful with the typing mistake, or to avoid that, let me copy it from here. Display name, and next what I have to pass is I would be passing the email. These two things I want to pass. And do I need to pass anything else? I think not. This is fine. With this it is saying expected one argument but got two. Okay, because I have to pass it with the comma separated values. That's it. This is fine now. After this, what I have to do, dot select dot get. So this will get me all the users. Okay, and what it will do, get method, you can see callback, graph, request, callback. So what it will do, it will give you the response and the error. So just pass error comma response for the response. These two are the keyword, and inside that let me save. And now inside this what I'll do, if there is any error, I will say console.log. okay, error occurred, and we will pass the error. Fine, this is done. And if I got the response, I will work with the response now. Okay, come back. So this is done. Come back to the Graph Explorer. So this is the response which I am getting. Let's go at the top. You can see this inside the response. I have this value. This value is an array. So what I will do, response dot value. Okay. Now I want to iterate through this array. For the iteration purpose, I will be using the map function dot map. I will name it as result, and again the arrow function. Okay. Now I would be inside this array one by one, and out of result what I want, mail and the display name. These two things I want, and I want to save it. So let's create an array first of all of the same type here. So I will say let user. Okay, what would be the type? User. It would be an array, and let's initialize it as blank. This is done. Okay, let's declare it inside this method, or let me declare it at the top, and I will declare it as public. It is saying user. Okay, I think U is capital. This is also done. So now I have the users. Okay, now what I will do, I will say user dot push all the values inside this particular array. Okay, and how it will push, it has to push two things. Display name will automatically come because this is the type. So display name, and from the result I will say I will use result dot from here, result dot display name. Okay, there are two properties which you have to provide, comma mail colon result dot mail. We can see mail is also small, mail ID. So this is done. Now all the values would come inside this particular array. Okay, now we have got the result. The only thing left is we have to assign this value to our detail list. That how we will do, through states. If you are following my videos regularly, you know that for assigning the values I would be using state. These are the two pillars of React, properties and state. So let me create a state interface now. I would say user state. Fine. Inside this, what I want to do, I want to pass this array. Okay, so I will create an array over here. I'll say users of type user. Typo again user, and it would be an array because it will contain many users. Now these are some basics of the React working with SPFX. I have already explained in my earlier videos. I will pass it over here in this method. Then I will create a constructor over here. Then I will create a constructor over here to initialize my state variable. Constructor will be of type parameterized constructor. So props will be of type iGraphAPI props. All these things I have already explained in detail in my earlier videos. Then I would be passing the super keyword because of that it is giving us an error. I will pass this state, and now I will initialize this state using this dot state is equal to users, and it would be blank. This is done. This is done. Everything is done. At last, what I have to do, I have to assign this value to the state. So when I will do at the end of this method, once will come out of this here, what I will do, I will say this dot state set state, this dot set state, and I will say users colon, and I have created this user over here also. Just to avoid some confusion, let me try to rename it. I will say all users. All users, fine, and I will put it over here. I think this is fine. And here for inside the state, I will say user state. So it will kind of give some differentiation. You will not get confused. So I will use this user state. I'm assigning user state into with this all users. This is done. Everything is done. I will quickly put the detail list over here. Okay. Detail list is asking for the items. For detail list, I have created a separate video if you are confused. If I exactly remember the video title, it is I think handle large list. Inside that I have explained detail list in detail. Detail list items, and item would be of type user this dot state dot user this dot state dot. It should come inside this parent block. Now there is no error. So guys, now my solution is ready. This is just one error. Whenever you are facing this error, if you feel like there's no other issue why this is coming, if you so this will get resolved once you will build your solution. Let me show you also. So once you will get built, automatically this will get fixed. Gulp build. So you must be wondering now, one thing is only left. Everything is done. If I run this solution, let me show you, this will not work. The only reason why it will not work is because I have not granted the permissions. And remember one thing, where we are granting this permission, in this file, package-solution file. Okay. And now try to connect the dots. What this file will do, this file will only come into picture when I will package my solution and upload it into this app catalog. Because what is the command we run when we try to create a package? Gulp package-solution-hyphen ship. Then only these files will come into picture, and in this file only I can give the permission. So if I try to run this solution directly in the local workbench or SharePoint workbench, this will not work because of the permission. So to overcome that, the first, there's a workaround. What you can do, create a blank solution. Okay, just check for the permissions in the beginning, give the permission, deploy a package to your app catalog, and then you can easily test in the workbench. Or you can create a basic prototype of your solution and then you can deploy. So here what I will do, my solution is kind of ready. Now I will first I will show you in the Gulp search that it will not work. In both the workbench I will show you. Then I will give the permissions and then I will test it again. Then I will show you. Okay, fine. This error is still there. Let me see. Okay, this is still running. So after Gulp build is completed, then we will test it in the local workbench. So again, there was a typing error over here. So I am running this command again, Gulp build. Okay, now build is completed, and you can see this error got resolved. So whenever you face any error related to your SCSS file, just build your solution first. Okay, now as discussed, let's run Gulp. This will open this solution in the local workbench, and then we'll see what is happening. My Gulp service completed. Let's go to this local workbench. This is the name of my web part. If I click on switch users, you can see this is detail list, which is empty for now. If I click on switch users, nothing is happening. I will press F12. I will clear everything. Switch users, and over here you can see cannot read property, replace of undefined. Let me try to open the same web part in the SharePoint workbench also. Here I will add that web part, graph API. I will press F12 and click on search user. So over here you can see cannot read property, value of none. For the same thing, both the workbench are giving me different kind of error. This is a bit easy to understand, and that also because I know this is related to the permission, but I want to show you. So I will click on this tsx file, and it is saying because this response is null. For a to make it more easy to understand, let's do one thing. Let's log both error and response and see again. This is error and this is response, and then we will fix it. This is my Gulp sub running. I will wait for that reload message. So I got the reload message. Let's go back to both the workbench. I will refresh. I will clear everything. I'll click on search user. So over here you can see error occurred. The user or administrator has not consented to use the application with ID this named SharePoint Online. So this is related to your error and response is none. Now what I will do, I will go and give the permission. I will deploy the package and try again. I told you I have to go to this file. Inside this I have to use the property web API permission. Inside this solution, I will say, see, web API permission request. It is an array. Inside that, I would be passing. So let me copy and paste over here the permission. Permission I told you from the Graph Explorer I would be using. This is my Graph Explorer. From modify section, I just want to scroll down from where I can do that. Here, okay, fine. And consent I have given user.readbasic.all. I will give this permission. Okay. I will paste it over there. I will paste. I have copied it. So what I have done, so this is the permission. You can see resource Microsoft Graphs copies user.readbasic.all. Because I told you in the part 2 now of this hands-on, I will be interacting with the SharePoint site. So just to avoid the redeployment again, and just to avoid the rework, in the very first try, I am getting the permission for the site also. I will show you why I am using this sites.read on all, just to avoid to the rework. I am in one go, I am taking all the permissions, I am granting all the permissions. So now what I will do, I will do Control C. I will create the package gulp build hyphen ship, gulp bundle hyphen ship, and gulp package. Then I will deploy this package to the app catalog. I will show you from where we can grant the permission, and then we will come back. We will see our solution will start working. Our solution will start working. Gulp build is completed. Now I will run gulp bundle hyphen ship, and then the final command gulp package hyphen solution hyphen ship. So when I will run gulp package hyphen solution, that permission web API permission request will come into picture. Now I will run the final command gulp package hyphen solution hyphen ship. This will create my package, and then we will upload that package to the app catalog. My app catalog is already ready. Over here I will upload my package, and meanwhile I'll show you how I can grant permission to my web APIs. For that, what I will do, I will go to the SharePoint admin center. Inside this I will select SharePoint. This is SharePoint. From SharePoint I will go to the new SharePoint admin center. From here, under advanced section, you can see this API access. Manage access to Azure AD secured API from SharePoint framework components and scripts. So over here, I have to grant the permission once I deploy that solution to the app catalog. Over here, nothing is there. Okay, my package is ready. I'll copy the package file. My package is present over here under, I think, from SharePoint solution. This is my package file. I will copy it. This is my app catalog, and here I will upload it. And also see this message, please go to the API management page to approve pending permissions. These are the permissions that need to be reviewed: Microsoft Graph user.readbasic.all, Microsoft Graph sites.read.all. I said deploy, so it got deployed. I'll come to this page again. I will refresh. Now if I do it from SharePoint framework or from Graph Explorer, from everywhere I have to grant the permission. From the Graph Explorer we can do it from there only. So you can see organization wide it is asking these are pending requests, and over here your package is also there. So which package is asking for this permission? I'll say approve Microsoft Graph. This is my package name. This is the permission version last requested. Approve, and this also I have to approve. This is for SharePoint. I will explain you why I have used this permission. And if I use, so this is done. Even if I am using this Graph Explorer for testing, it will ask you to log in, and when you will do the consent, for example, if I am just doing it to show you, see over here it will ask me to provide the permission like this. Okay, so this is done. Now what I will do, I will again run the gulp serve, because now I got the permission, and I will refresh my web parts. Okay, my SharePoint workbench I will be using. I will refresh it. Let me see whether we have got the reload message. Not yet. I will wait. So I've got the reload message now. Let's go back to the web part. Okay, this is in my Edge browser. I will refresh it. Will clear everything. I will click on, see this detail is present but it is blank. I will click on search user, and you can see this is working now. Error occurred null. Response is occurring in the same way as I demonstrated you in the Graph Explorer, and you can see all these users are present in my database. So this is how you can work with the Graph API. A very quick revision: what is the key? Graph API client. What is the Graph API client? This is my Graph API client, which I have to import it from Microsoft SP HTTP. This I will get it from MS Graph Client Factory. Once I got the Graph API client dot API, then I will tell the versions. Then there are other methods if you want to do some filtration and all that method are there. Then get the data, you will get the error and response, check for the error, and then play with the response. That's it, and then assign the value in the detail list. So we are done. So only one part is left for this hands-on, that is how we can fetch the data from the SharePoint. So that is also we can do it very quickly now, because that is also we will do in the same way. For example, there's just one thing which I want to show you. That's why I have picked the SharePoint also for as part of this demo. So this is SharePoint sites, and if I want to show you something, SharePoint list, and I will be getting the data from the list. Enumerate SharePoint list column. Okay, okay, I'm at the wrong place. This is Graph Explorer, and these are some sample APIs. Let's go to the where all the endpoints are listed. This is user. If I scroll down here, okay, inside user also now groups, sites and list, get items. This is the section which I want to use. These are the Graph API. Graph.microsoft.com version 1.0, everything will remain the same. Over here, the important thing is site/site ID. So it will not work with site title, and same it will not work with the list title. In this particular API, you have to provide the site ID and list ID. So list ID, we can get it from the list settings. How we will get this site ID, that I will show you. That's why I have picked this particular REST API. I picked this particular part as part of this demo. So now over here you can see we have to pass the site ID and list ID. This API will not accept the site title and the list title. So first I will show you how we can get the site ID. To get the site ID, I will go to the site section. This is get site. If I scroll down, you can see site/root. So friends, over here under sites, get site, over here you can see if you have a server related URL for a site resource, you can construct a request as follows. So we can access a site by the relative path also, but there's one thing which I would like to tell you. If I want to get the items, the list item, let me open it over here, get item. So this is the REST API. So if I try to pass site over here by relative path, it will not work. So what I will do, using this REST API, I will get the site ID. I will put the site ID over here, then list ID, I will get it from list settings. So let's try to construct the URL by using Graph Explorer. So this is the my REST API /sites/hostname, my tenant hostname /server relative path. Okay, over here I will come back. Here I have to put my hostname. Let me put my hostname first, or I will pick it. Okay, from here I will pick the hostname. I will go back. This is the hostname. Let me paste it again. This is the hostname / I will go back over here, then /server relative path /server relative path. This is the site which I want to access. I will open it over here. This is the site. So relative path would be this site/poc. I will paste it over here, site/poc, and I will try to run this particular query, and I got this 200 bad request. Let me see. I think there's some problem with my REST API. Okay, over here I forgot to add this site/hostname. So here I will put sites/hostname/relative path. I will try to run it. So now my REST API is working. So what I have done, I have simply /sites, then this is my hostname /relative path site/poc. I run this query and it is working. We'll go step by step. First we'll see the permission section, and okay, over here this is fine. No, I can't nothing is available over here. So what I will do, using this, what I'm going to get is the ID. So this is the complete ID. This is the complete ID which I want. So using this API, I will get the site ID. I will put this site ID. I will keep it over here for now under this file. Just I will use it while constructing my next API. So now I will move forward to the next API. That is, I told you I will try to get the list item. So I will get over here get items under list, and I will use this API. So I will copy it as it is I will copy this API as it is and I will paste it over here, and I will simply replace the values in the Graph Explorer. Yes, I can do that. I was just checking whether graph.microsoft.com is there or not. Fine. Now this is site/site ID. I will copy site ID from here. This is the complete site ID. This is your host name, then root site collection ID, then your site collection ID. I will replace this site ID with this. Fine. Now list/list ID. I want to get the list ID. I will go to my site. This is my site, and I will see which list I want to fetch. I will fetch this list. Let me see if some items are present over here. I will fetch this list first FC. Okay. I want to get the ID of this particular list. I will get the ID from here. Right. I'll put this list ID over here. This is also done. I have placed my list ID over here. List/list ID. Then what I will do, /items. Now I will cut this query string parameter, and let me try to run this query whether I'm getting a success or there is some issue with my list ID. So this is fine. That means my site ID and list ID is working fine. What I'm getting, I'm getting all the items, ID1, ID2. So right now I'm getting the items. Now I will piece the remaining part, that is expand fields, and select now if I want to filter any column. Over here I can see mostly values are present in two columns. One is the title and second is the test. So I will fetch only these two particular column. Okay, let me show you the result once again. This is the ID3 and I am not getting any fields over here. If you see, I am not getting any fields. So unless I will use this expand is equal to fields, I will not get the fields. Even if I use this question mark, that is query string expand equal to fields, now I think it should return me all the fields. If you see ID1, for example, over here you can see this field section. Now it is returning me all the fields. ID2, and if I move down for this ID2, see this is ID2, last modified by parent reference, and this is the field section. And now I don't want all the fields, I want only two fields, that is title and test. Run query, and now you can see there would be less fields, that is title and test. So now my REST API is working. My API is ready. I have to use it in my SPFX. The only thing is left is I have to show you the permission section. See, permission section, site.read.all. These two permissions are required. I don't want to write anything to the list, so I did not grant permission to this particular permission. So in my code, most of the things are ready. My main thing is the API. This is ready. Now I will quickly paste it over here. I will remove this. Okay, in code there will be one change. I will show you there itself. Okay, so what I will do, I will create another button, primary button. This time I will text it as get data from list. This is done, and there would be another detail list items. I will paste it later on. Now our work is easy. First of all, what I have to do, I have to create an interface, the kind of item I want from the list, the way I created for the user. So I will say export interface ilist. I want only two columns. One is the title would be string, and second would be the test column I want. So these two columns I want. This is ready, and now I have to create the state also. So this time I will say list data of type ilist, and this would be an array. I have to initialize it in my constructor also. So list data empty array. This is done. I will create one method. So what I will do, let me copy paste this as it is, this method, and I will make changes in this only. Control C, and I will paste it after this. I will name this method as get list data. Fine, this is done, and we will call this method on this button click. This dot get list data. So this is also ready, and in this let me see whether this is detail list. I will try to assign that state, because state is ready. Now I can assign it so that we can get rid of this error. Items is equal to this dot state dot list data. This is also fine. Now what we have to do, we have to simply modify this method get list data. what we are going to do till here, it would remain that fine. API we have to change. So in API, what we have to do is from here we'll start till here. Sites, I will paste it over here like this. Control S, site slash, everything remain the same. But you know, this will not work because expand, although this is working in Graph Explorer, it should work, but I don't know for some unknown reason this was not working when I tried at my end. So I will tell you, this was giving me as a in the response I was getting null. So what we have to do, we have to remove this from here, from this particular part. Okay, we got the items, and once we got the items, dot expand is a function. I have to use this function, and inside this functions I will pass everything over here. What I will pass, I will say fields like this I have to do. So this is one change. That's why I picked this particular API as part of this demo. So although the same was working in my Graph Explorer, but in the actual while coding in the SharePoint framework, I have to use this as a method expand. So this is fine, version is fine. Select what we have to select. I think select, we don't want this select now. I will remove it because we already selected our fields from here. I will remove this. I will get the error response for this, you know, error occurred list data. We will check in the browser console response list data. Although I already showed you the response in the Graph Explorer, so this will remain the change. Over here we have to simply change this array, this dot, what I want, user. I have to create one array to assign users data. So over here what I will do, sorry, list data, my bad, public list data colon ilist array. This is fine. This dot list data dot push, and over here I will change it to title. Here I will change it to test, and similarly over here we have to change result dot, that we can fetch from our Graph Explorer, result dot title, T capital and T small. Fine. So I will change result dot title and result dot test, and now this should populate in our detail list. Fine. I will Gulp service, I think already running. So let's see. Yes, Gulp service is already running. In the Edge browser, I have this code. I will wait for this reload message. So reload message is fine. Build succeeded. I'll go back to my browser. I will refresh it. This is local workbench. I will close it. Fine. First of all, I will go with, let me open the browser console also. I will clear it. Get list data. I'm not getting anything. So there's an error over here. Error occurred, cannot read property value of null. Okay. So value of null means there is no response. Response is null. There is any error over here, parsing OData select and expand field. Okay, fine. There's some error over here in our expand section, which I added over there. Let's go back. Error is pretty self-explanatory. Let's try to fix this error over here. Here it is saying there is some error. Okay, so over here what I have to do, I have to use this dollar also. Dollar select is equal to title. This you please remember. You remember two things. If I go to the Graph Explorer again, over here this REST API is working as it is with query string, but in the SharePoint framework you have to use the expand section and you have to put dollar over here. So just remember these two things. Now I think it should work. Reload message is fine. Let's go back, refresh, click on this get data from list, and now we are getting the response. The only thing is this data is not appearing in my detail list. So we will see why this is happening. I must have missed something very small. Let me quickly check it. List data is fine. I think this dot set state I have not updated. This is the reason. Yes, this dot set state over here, this dot list data, and here also let me change it entirely. What I have to change, this dot set state list data colon, and here I am having this array which I have created called this dot list data. Yes, let me check it again just to avoid these errors. This is dot list data. Fine, and this is my state. I want to do one thing just to avoid the confusion. I will put state also. List data state. List data state. This will, this will not lead to any unnecessary confusion. Now it is clear. And here I will change this dot state dot. So with this, the moment I append this state word, so I came to know that okay, this is my state variable. Now this is fine, it should work now. Waiting for the reload message. Okay, reload message is fine now. Refresh this page. Get list data. Again there is some issue. Data is coming over here, but I am missing some very small thing. If I go with search users, search user is working fine, and under this I have this detail list. Okay, let's quickly check. So guys, why we are facing this error? Because over here you can see inside value, in the response inside value we have this array. Inside this array, inside this fields we have the values, and what I have done, I have simply used result, which is this value result dot title. So I have to use this fields also, then it would work fine. This is a small error over here, result dot fields dot title, and same result dot fields dot test. Now it should work fine, hopefully. Let's quickly check the GulpServe. GulpServe is fine. Where is my Edge browser? I will click on get data from list, and now my my data is coming and it is getting displayed in the detail list. So it is working fine, you can see. And if I click on search user, and this is my detail list, both are working fine. So guys, with the help of Graph API, I am able to fetch data from SharePoint list and display it over here, and I am able to fetch all my users from my Office 365. So with this, we have come to the end of today's video. But before closing, I will quickly, summarize things what we have learned today. Today, what we have learned, we learned how we can implement Graph API in SPFX. So we saw that Graph APIs, with the help of Graph API, we connect to different services of the Office 365. To use this Graph API inside SPFX, I need MS Graph client, which I can import. Typings file I can install separately just to get the IntelliSense. This MS Graph client is available through MS Graph Client Factory, which is part of my SharePoint context, which is available in the webpack file. So once I got the context, then I have to, it's very simple, graph client, this is my context. I pass through properties.ms graph client factory .get client. Once I got the client, then .api. How I'm getting the API? For all the endpoints, link is in the description box below. I simply got the API from the Microsoft Docs. I got the API from here. I tested them inside the Graph Explorer. Once everything testing is done, I simply embedded this code in my SPFX. Another major point is that I have to assign permission for each and every request for each and every service that I will be doing in gulp package-solution file inside web API permission request. Once I gave the permission, granted the permission, I will deploy the package first, otherwise it won't work even in the local workbench. Once I deployed the package, I grant the permission from Admin Center, SharePoint Admin Center under Advanced API section. Once I granted the permission, then I tested these APIs and they are working fine. For SharePoint API, there was just one thing. For that particular reason, I decided to make part of this demo. That is that you have to use expand function in Graph Explorer. It will work as a query string, and you have to use dollar also over here, because you saw we were getting this OData error. After that, we got two error. One was related to simply because I didn't fetch the data properly from the response, and there was another error where I did not set the correct state variable. Apart from that, we did not face any major error in this demo. So I hope that you learned something by the end of this video now, and you must be comfortable with the REST API. You can try this at your end now. There are various endpoints, so you can try them. and if you face any issue, I'm always there. So guys, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get notification for our upcoming videos. You can reach out to us through our official email ID, contactdstechmirror@gmail.com. We have created a group over Facebook for collaboration purpose to push all the updates related to the Office 365. You can join that group. Link is in the description box below. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. This is my Twitter handle. Also, it is mentioned in the description box. Thank you. Much love. Keep learning.